Brainrot has been very popular on Roblox for the past year. Steal a Brainrot, and now recently escaped Tsunami for Brainrots really show it. And one of the other big Brainrot games was Plants vs. Brainrots. This game at one point was one of the most popular games on Roblox, and till this day holds the top 4 spot for highest peak player count. But unlike the other games, it is no longer even close to being as popular as it once was. It went from averaging hundreds of thousands of players to now below 10,000, at this point having nearly 100 times less players than just a few months ago. And with the player count dropping every week this badly, the game might not be getting updates for much longer. Now, the reason it managed to become so popular in the first place is because the game simply tried to follow all the trends. Brainrot became a popular thing, so it used Brainrots. Mutations and weight, both from steal a Brainrot and grow a garden, basically, and the shops are also similar to the ones you'd see in Grow a Garden. And all of that fused together into a Plants vs. Zombies-like game, which till this day is decently popular and has thousands of people play it constantly. And all of that ended up working, and kids who's the target audience here liked the game. It worked so good that it quickly got first thousands of players and then skyrocketed into front page. This must be one of the fastest growing games ever on the platform. But as it gained a lot of players very quickly, as you already know, it also started to lose those same players at a pretty quick pace. And one of the main reasons as to why it's decreasing in player count are the updates. The latest updates haven't been really adding anything interesting for players to do. Previous update was all about you taking a strong Brainrot you already had and then putting its income into a weaker Brainrot you already had. Basically, imagine this as reskinning your best Brainrot to whatever else you want. There is no real challenge for the player, and you do not even gain anything from doing that, apart from the reward track, which makes you do the same thing over and over again. And about reward tracks, it feels like they are sort of the main thing in like at least 80% of the events. The new update that came out as I'm editing the video fully relies on a reward track too. There are random tasks every few minutes, and whoever completes the most of it or completes it first gets trophies. First place is 3, second is 2, and third is 1 trophy. And I do think there was an idea, but it wasn't executed in a good way. Another problem with this is that there isn't really a reason to compete because the private servers are free and you can just easily farm trophies like this. So the entire competitive point doesn't fully work, and even if we imagine that everyone would actually compete, the entire reward system is just a reward track, which again has been used in most of the updates already, and those are just the 2 latest updates I showed. The main reason people quit this game is because it's simply boring, and updates aren't fun to play for longer than a few tens of minutes or hours at most. And here players actually have a choice. Do they want to continue play this game, or switch to a different Brainrot game? If we just check some of the top games, we got Escape Tsunami for Brainrots, Steal a Brainrot, Survive Lava for Brainrots, and Steal from Brainrots. And every game has many more players than Plants vs. Brainrots. So I wouldn't be surprised if nearly everyone who quit this game did it not only because they didn't enjoy the updates, but also because there's just simply other games to choose from. But going back to the game itself, it is no secret that it has gotten more pay to win. It recently had a whole 3 Robux Lucky Blocks at the same time in the Robux shop, as well as a limited Robux plant. But since the latest update, one of the Lucky Blocks disappeared, and instead, there is now this Robux pack. But if we're talking about pay to win, then I have to mention Season Pass. Besides the Premium Pass, there is Shop where you can buy things with in-game currency, in this case, the tokens. And prices here do not make any sense, because a 450 token item costs less Robux than a 350 token item. Or these 2 items which got the same token price, but got a noticeable difference when it comes to the Robux price. The game does have free-to-play plants to offer that actually get good, but the problem are the odds. The third best plant has the odds of 1 in 10,000, which would take around 34 days on average to restock, and getting the other 2 is even rarer. Admin abuses do actually a pretty decent job at helping players, which is nice, and these daily rewards can sometimes give a good plant for a pretty simple task. But outside of that, it feels like there might be not much else to do, and getting good plants would be too rare. There is this story mode in this game, which is basically a set amount of Brainrots you have to defeat every time. This is something I played when the game was still pretty relevant, but at one point I stopped because it started to get kind of hard, and also boring, honestly. I made a video on this game just a month ago, and since then, it managed to drop from about 25 to 30,000 players to like 7 to 8,000 players. And to me, it's honestly impressive how quickly a game can fall off. You'd think that if a game at one point managed to have millions of players at once, it would stay relevant for a year or at least 6 months, like pretty much any other front-page game. But it took 4 months for this game to lose most of its players. And with that, I think it's pretty obvious as to why I think the end of this game is getting really close. But there is still one thing I did not mention, something that proves that Plants vs. Brainrots will soon enough be ending. According to this guy on Twitter, a sequel to Plants vs. Brainrots is being made. And obviously the team behind it is the exact same as the one that works on current Plants vs. Brainrots. In a later post, he also showed what is apparently an image from Plants vs. Brainrots 2. I will be honest, doesn't really look all that good, but it's very likely to be an early stage, so things will probably improve visually with time. Going back to previous post, the creator of Plants vs. Brainrots actually replied saying he never knew about the sequel, which is weird. So, is it actually happening? The group's name was changed pretty recently. It has always been Yo-Gurt Studios, but now has more of a professional name to it, although the icon and role names need to be worked on still. But later on, during admin abuse, one of the main developers actually mentioned the fact that they are working on the sequel, which fully confirms that. And now I want to go back to Jandel's statement. He mentions that they would have some very exciting news to share soon, and now a month later we get confirmation of a sequel being made. So my guess is that they have been working on the sequel since at least mid-December, or even earlier. And obviously the main question now is, will the sequel actually do good? Seeing how the current Plants vs. Brainrots performed with its huge hype wave and then quick player loss, that doesn't really give many hopes for the sequel. But I do think that if they change the way they approach the updates, it would be able to perform better. But as of now, Plants vs. Brainrots is actively losing players, and now that a sequel is confirmed, it's most likely getting its final updates. Anyway, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I plan to make a Q&A video once the channel hits 25,000 subscribers. You can watch one of these videos while waiting for a new one. They are good too. You can play our game or join my Discord server with links in description, and I will see you soon.